This global crisis started with dogs. Yes, dogs. Trump looked at Denmark's defense of Greenland and said, "They put an extra dog sled there. That's not going to do the trick." 2 sleds against Russia, against China, against missiles. Amazing. Welcome to modern defense. And that's when the panic started. Mette Frederiksen rushed out, eyes watery, voice shaking. She said, "Greenland is not for sale." Crowds behind her, same sentence, on every banner. Trump replied, "I can't rely on Denmark being able to defend itself." Then he added, "You know, Denmark fell to Germany in 6 hours during World War II. Totally unable to defend itself. Or Greenland." Translation: cute banners, big confidence, fast surrender. Macron didn't start in public. He started in private. Like someone sending a nervous voice note at 2 a.m., he messaged Trump. Very polite, very soft, very French. He wrote, "My friend, I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland." Translation: please calm down, you're ruining my week and my approval ratings. Trump read it, smiled, then thought, "So, this is Europe's tough guy," and posted it online for everyone. No privacy, no mercy, no editing. Basically saying, "Look at this." He cries in private, then lectures in public. Then Macron went to Davos, wearing sunglasses, indoors, at night, claiming his eyes had a medical issue. Sure, Trump noticed, and said on stage, "I watched Emmanuel Macron yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?" Global leaders laughed. Macron did not. Then Macron grabbed the mic, tried to recover. He said, "We prefer respect to bullies and the rule of law to brutality." Big words, big accent, 0 missiles. Trump watched, then smiled and joked, "He won't be here very long anyway." Translation: you're temporary. Message received. Friedrich Merz adjusted his glasses. Twice. Opened a folder. Then another folder. Then a thicker folder. Said, "Rules, process, stability, framework, coordination." Trump blinked. Merz continued. He said, "We must not rush to write off transatlantic ties." Which means, yes, he's angry. Yes, he's tweeting. Yes, he's threatening tariffs. But please, don't leave NATO. Merz wasn't shouting, he was negotiating. Like a lawyer trying to calm down a billionaire client at 3 a.m. Trump listened, nodded, checked his phone, checked Greenland again. Still no German bases, still no shield, still no missiles. Just good manners, and 600 pages of excuses. Keir Starmer spoke from London. Not Davos, not Switzerland, not near Trump. From home, very safe. He said tariffs on allies were completely wrong. Strong words, delivered gently. Then he added the important part. Greenland belongs to Greenland and Denmark. If America has a problem, it should talk to them. Directly, privately, quietly. Not involve Britain. Not involve tariffs. Not involve headlines. No counter tariffs. No threats. No grand speeches. Just one message. This is between you and Denmark. Please don't invoice us. It sounded reasonable, mature, responsible, also very clear. Starmer wasn't choosing a side, he was choosing survival. Ulf Kristersson stayed calm. Very calm. Like IKEA furniture. Emotion self-assembled. He said, "We will not allow ourselves to be blackmailed." Strong sentence, delivered like a weather report. Then Sweden sent some soldiers. Not an army, not even a platoon, more like a LinkedIn networking group. Enough to say, "We tried." Not enough to scare anyone, because Sweden is Denmark's neighbor, the unlucky neighbor, when your house is on fire and your wall is shared. So Sweden stood there like, "We support you, but please don't drag us into this. Also, please don't tariff us." Jonas Gahr Sture stepped in, calm, polite, Nordic. He said, "Greenland is part of Denmark. Tariffs on allies are unacceptable." Firm words, spoken softly, like apologizing while criticizing. Trump listened, then replied, "America needs Greenland for national security." And then, as usual, he changed topic. To himself, he said, "And by the way, I still don't have the Nobel Peace Prize." Pause. He looked disappointed, very disappointed. Then added, "After that snub, I feel less obligated to think about peace." Somewhere in Oslo, the Nobel Committee froze. Not from cold, from regret. Because maybe, just maybe, if they had given Trump the prize, Norway would be having a much quieter winter. The Netherlands stood with Denmark, briefly, politely, for about 3 minutes. Then Trump slapped tariffs. Suddenly, principles went missing. Dutch officials called it blackmail. Strong word. Prime Minister Dick Schoof said the threats were unjustified. Very brave. From a safe distance. Then he got to the real concern. Ports, trade, supply chains. Translation? Please don't touch Rotterdam. The Netherlands even sent support. 1 soldier, maybe 2. Not to stop anything, just to take photos. They stood with Denmark until the tariffs arrived. Then they stood with Excel. Alexander Stubb spoke at Davos, calmly, slowly, like a man choosing every word as if it costs money. He said, "There are 3 possible outcomes for Greenland. 1 good, 1 bad, 1 catastrophic," which is diplomatic language for "this can go wrong" very fast. Then he talked about dialogue, peaceful dialogue, constructive dialogue, productive dialogue. Translation: Trump, please talk to Denmark, not us. Tariff them if you want, call them if you want, tweet at them if you want. Just don't involve Finland. Finland likes meetings. Finland likes rules. Finland likes maps. Finland does not like drama. Because Finland lives next to Russia, very close. So Stubb's real message was simple. We are small. We are careful. We are alive. And we plan to stay that way. While Europe was busy arguing, China was busy studying maps. Beijing released another document, very thick, very serious. It was their 2018 Arctic Policy White Paper. It said, China is a near-Arctic state. Near, which is interesting, because China is about 1,500 kilometers away. That's like Singapore calling itself near Australian. But China had a plan. They pointed to old agreements, scientific cooperation deals with Denmark from the 1980s and 1990s, post-Cold War polar research treaties, the Svalbard Treaty precedent from their Yellow River Station in 2004, mining and airport MOUs from Greenland in the 2010s, and UNCLOS, the Law of the Sea, and said, "See, we've been here before." Translation: we planted paperwork, now we want influence. Same logic they used in the South China Sea. We've been around for centuries, so it's ours now. Chinese companies tried to invest. Ports, airfields, research bases. Not military, of course not. Scientific, with very good satellite reception. Pure coincidence, of course. Trump noticed and said, "So now Greenland has dogs, Danes, and Chinese professors." Not comforting. Putin was asked about Greenland. He smiled. He said, "This is between America and Denmark, not our business," which is Russian for "interesting, continue," because Russia is very close, across the Arctic Ocean, with the Northern Fleet, the Kola Peninsula bases, nuclear submarines, hypersonic missiles, and icebreakers. Lots of icebreakers. Russia controls the Northern Sea route, the Arctic Highway, from Asia to Europe to the Atlantic. Then analysts asked, what if Russia lets China use its sea lanes? What if Chinese ships sail through the Northern Sea route toward Greenland? Under their China-Russia Arctic cooperation agreements and Polar Silk Road projects. Suddenly, China gets access. Russia gets tolls. America gets nervous. It becomes not Denmark versus Trump, but US versus China with Russian parking space. Putin doesn't need to invade. He doesn't need soldiers. He just needs to approve transit permits and say, route is open, fee is paid. Good luck. And in modern geopolitics, no tanks, no flags, just invoices. Trump once said, "It's just a big piece of ice," which is half true, because under the ice is money, real money. According to the U.S. Geological Survey and Danish reports, rare earth minerals, uranium, iron ore, zinc, gold, oil, natural gas, especially rare earths, the same materials China controls globally. And then there is location. Greenland sits between North America, Europe, Russia, the Arctic routes. It hosts Thule Air Base, now Pituffik Space Base, America's missile warning eye for the entire Arctic. It's basically a radar tower the size of a country. As the ice melts, new shipping lanes open, shortcuts between Asia and Europe. Who controls Greenland controls the future maps. So no, it's not just ice. It's ice with spreadsheets and lawyers, many lawyers. Then Trump made his favorite argument, history. He said, "Without us, you'd be speaking German or Japanese." World War II reference, not subtle, but mostly accurate. Then he added, "We pay for NATO," which is also true. America covers about 40% of NATO's military spending. When Europe panics, America shows up. So Trump's logic was simple. We protected you. We still protect you. We pay the bills. And now we ask for security influence over Greenland. And you say no? From his perspective, that feels unfair. From Europe's perspective, that feels like pressure. Same history, different conclusion. Now, the numbers. The U.S. already has about 200 troops at Pituffik Space Base. Missile warning, space surveillance, 24/7 operations. Meanwhile, Europe sent France, about 15, Germany, about 13, Norway and Finland, 2 each, Sweden, a few, UK and Netherlands, 1 officer each, altogether, barely 50 people. So Europe shows up and says, "We are here," and America replies, "No, we've been here." It's like Europe brought PowerPoint slides, America brought the army, and the receipt. While presidents argued about ice and missiles, California's governor tried to join the drama. Gavin Newsom went to Davos. Suit ready, speech ready, global leader mode on. He had a fireside chat scheduled at the official U.S. venue. Then, it vanished. No announcement, no apology, no reschedule. Just gone. His office said, the White House and State Department blocked it. The White House didn't even bother to deny it. Instead, a spokesperson mocked him, saying nobody in Davos knew who he was, and that he should focus on California instead of vacationing in Switzerland. Translation: you're not on the guest list. Go home. So Newsom came to talk about Greenland, and ended up talking to reporters in the hallway, which, in politics, is the polite version of being ignored by everyone, including the camera crew. Just when it looked like Trump might turn Greenland into the 51st state, something weird happened in Davos. Trump had coffee with NATO boss Mark Rutte. No cameras, no tweets, just coffee. Mark Rutte is famous for one thing. He knows how to talk to Trump. Smile, listen, agree first, calm later. Some reporters joked maybe Mark called Trump Daddy again. And it worked. 30 minutes later, Trump walked out smiling and said, "We have a framework." Framework, which means, everyone relax. I'm not angry anymore. For now. And just like that, tariffs canceled. Europe relieved. Markets happy. So, did Trump give up on Greenland? No, he didn't quit. He paused, like a hunter waiting quietly in the snow. He stopped shouting, stopped threatening, but he kept watching. Because Trump still believes Greenland is important. Greenland is strategic. Greenland is valuable. And one day, maybe, just maybe, he'll try again. Not with tariffs, not with threats, with timing, with opportunity, with a better moment. And in his dreams, maybe even this, a Trump Mount Rushmore in the Arctic, with headlines like, "Here lies the man who almost bought a continent," on credit.
Thank you for watching Pastcast, where the past echoes through today. If you enjoyed the satire, scrolls, and scandals, like, subscribe, and ring the bell before the next empire falls.